Now, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. This is what the ancients were commended for. And by faith, we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what was visible. By faith, Abel brought God a better offering than Cain did. By faith, he was commended as righteous when God spoke well of his offerings. And by faith, Abel still speaks, even though he's dead. By faith, Enoch was taken from this life so that he did not experience death. He could not be found because God had taken him away. For before he was taken, he was commended as one who pleased God. And without faith, it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. By faith, Noah, in holy fear, built an ark to save his family. By his faith, he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness that is in keeping with faith. By faith, Abraham, when called to go to a place he would only later receive as his inheritance, obeyed and went, even though he didn't know where he was going. By faith, he made his home in the promised land like a stranger in a foreign country. He lived in tents, as did Isaac and Jacob, who were heirs with him of the same promise. For he was looking forward to a city with foundations, whose architect and builder is God.
A city with foundations, firm as the eternal throne, nor war nor desolations shall ever move a stone. O Zion, lovely Zion, I long thy gates to see. O Zion, lovely Zion, when shall I dwell in thee?
And by faith, even Sarah, who was well past childbearing age, was enabled to bear children because she considered him faithful who had made the promise. And so, from this one man, and he as good as dead, came descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as countless as the sand on the seashore. Now, all these people were still living by faith when they died. They didn't actually receive the things promised. They only saw them and welcomed them from a distance, admitting that they were foreigners and strangers on earth.
By faith we see the hand of God in the light of creation's grand design, in the lives of those who prove his faithfulness, who walk by faith and not by sight. By faith our fathers roamed the earth, We will stand as children of the promise. We will fix our eyes on Him, our soul's reward, till the race is finished and the work is done. We'll walk by faith and not by sight.
Now, people who say such things show that they are looking for a city of their own. If they had been thinking of the city they'd left, they would have had opportunity to return. Instead, they were longing for a better country, a heavenly one. And therefore, God is not ashamed to be called their God, for He has prepared a city for them. By faith, Abraham, when God tested him, offered Isaac as a sacrifice. He who had embraced the promises was about to sacrifice his one and only son, even though God had said to him, "It is through Isaac that your offspring will be reckoned." But Abraham reasoned that God could even raise the dead. And so, in a manner of speaking, he did receive Isaac back from death.
I am the God who healeth thee. Oh, that you only trust in me. You are the seed, by faith receive the blessing of Abraham. The blessing of Abraham. Wherever you are, wherever you go, whatever you touch, it's anointed to grow. You are the seed, by faith receive the blessing of Abraham. The blessing of Abraham. It's your inheritance. It's your inheritance. You are the seed, by faith receive the blessing of Abraham. The blessing of Abraham.
By faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau in regard to their future. By faith, Jacob, when he was dying, blessed each of Joseph's sons and worshipped as he leaned on the top of his staff. By faith, Joseph, when his end was near, spoke about the exodus of the Israelites from Egypt and gave instructions concerning the burial of his bones. By faith, Moses' parents hid him for 3 months after he was born because they saw he was no ordinary child, and they were not afraid of the king's edict.
The Lord goes before you through the trouble and strife, and He will protect you all the days of your life. He'll never forsake you. Be courageous and do not be afraid. Don't be afraid. Every day. He'll never forsake you. Be courageous and do not be afraid. Don't be afraid. Every day. Be strong and courageous and do not be afraid. The Lord goes with you each and every day. He'll never forsake you. Be courageous and do not be afraid. Don't be afraid. Every day. He'll never forsake you. Be courageous and do not be afraid. Don't be afraid. Every day. He'll never forsake you. Be courageous and do not be afraid. Don't be afraid.
And by faith, Moses, when he had grown up, refused to be known as the son of Pharaoh's daughter. He chose to be mistreated along with the people of God, rather than to enjoy the fleeting pleasures of sin. He regarded disgrace for the sake of Christ as of greater value than all the treasures of Egypt, because he was looking ahead to his reward. By faith, he left Egypt, not fearing the king's anger. He persevered because he saw him who is invisible. By faith he kept the Passover and the application of blood, so that the destroyer of the firstborn would not touch the firstborn of Israel. By faith the Israelites passed through the Red Sea as on dry land, but when the Egyptians tried to do so, they were drowned.
Rescue me from the wicked, oh, rescue me from the wicked, oh, rise up, Lord, and bring them down. Keep me as the apple of your eye, hide me in the shadow of your wings. Rescue me from the wicked, oh, rescue me from the wicked, oh Lord. Enemies surround me, throw me to the ground. Like a hungry lion, they have tracked me down. Show the wonder of your love, save me by your hand. I have kept my heart for you, in your path I stand. Rescue me from the wicked, oh, rescue me from the wicked, oh, rise up, Lord, and bring them down. Keep me as the apple of your eye, hide me in the shadow of your wings. Rescue me from the wicked, oh, rescue me from the wicked, oh Lord. And I will see your face.
By faith the walls of Jericho fell, after the army had marched around them for 7 days. By faith the prostitute Rahab, because she had welcomed the spies, was not killed with those who were disobedient. And what more shall I say? I don't have time to tell about Barak, Gideon, Samson, and Jephthah, about David, Samuel, and the prophets, who through faith conquered kingdoms, administered justice, and gained what was promised, who shut the mouths of lions, quenched the fury of the flames, and escaped the edge of the sword, whose weakness was turned to strength, and who became powerful in battle and routed foreign armies. Women received back their dead, raised to life again. And there were others who were tortured, refusing to be released so that they might gain an even better resurrection. Some faced jeers and flogging and even chains and imprisonment. They went about in sheepskins and goatskins, destitute, persecuted, and mistreated. The world was not worthy of them. They wandered in deserts and mountains, living in caves and in holes in the ground. And all these were commended for their faith. And yet, not one of them actually received what was promised. Because God had planned something better for us, so that only together with us would they be made perfect. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith.